Hi, I'm Nancy McCacken and welcome to Living Karma Yoga. Catherine Austin Woolley, who founded the program and who hosted it for several years, has recently moved to California with her husband. And as her new partner, I've taken over some of her responsibilities, one of which is hosting this program, which is a celebration of all that yoga has to offer, from asana, which means posture, to pranayama, which are breathing exercises, to meditation, mudra, mantra, cooking, nutrition, travel, and so very much more to help you take your yoga off the mat, which is really where it's most important. So may these tools help you live the life of joy, fulfillment, and abundance that you so truly deserve. Today's episode will feature me, Nancy McCacken, and I'm going to be sharing a breathing practice, a pranayama, sequence of pranayamas that I do in the morning. This is my primary sadhana. Sadhana means daily practice, and this is my primary sadhana these days. Prana is a Sanskrit word that means vital energy. For the most part, we often think of it, those of us who know the word, think of it as breath. But it's not identical to breath, because everything that we take into our bodies, in fact our bodies themselves, have prana or vital energy. So the food that we ingest, the water that we drink, has prana in it or vital energy in it, especially when the body assimilates it and transforms it into that energy that the body can use. The most important of these energies that we take in is on our breath and our breathing practices, because we can go for, I don't know how long it is without food, many weeks possibly. We can go without water for several days, but without the breath, we're gone after a few minutes, some of us, and I'm not sure how long people can live without breath, but not very long. So in any case, pranayama is the union of two words. It's a compound word, Sanskrit word. Prana meaning vital energy, and ayama, which means freedom. Now, yama is a Sanskrit word which means restriction. So in the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, which is the first written record we have of yoga, yamas are considered one of the 8 limbs. Yamas are the restrictions or the ways that we behave, that we should be behaving in our lives. So most people, or many people, translate pranayama as a restriction of the breath or a control of the breath. But I like the definition that one of my teachers gave me. It's the freedom of the breath, prana and ayama. So when the A, which means not in Sanskrit, much the way it does in English, when prana and ayama are joined together, there are 2 A's. One of them is discarded because you don't need to, and it becomes pranayama. And the idea is that we're freeing up the pranic energy by directing the breath in very particular ways in the body. Our diaphragms are attached to the sternum in front, the spine in the back, right about the level of the bottom thoracic spine, pretty much close to the psoas in the back, and then to the ribs all the way around. There's a central tendon that goes from the sternum to the spine, and then there are fibers, muscular fibers, that move from the central tendon out to the ribs. And when the diaphragm moves into the area of the internal organs, these fibers move as well, and they press down into the area of the digestive organs. Stomach on the left and spleen, the liver on the right, the kidneys in the back. And generally, if we're breathing very deeply, you'll see that the belly comes out and the lower ribs come out, and then when we exhale, it comes in. So the basic yoga breath we talk about and we teach in classes engages all 3 lobes of the lungs, the lower, the mid, and the upper. So when we inhale, we expand the belly, we expand the ribs, we expand high up into the clavicles, and when we exhale, we reverse the process and draw the diaphragm in and empty the air out. This is the basic pranayama, or direction of the breath. But I'd like to teach you a few others that you can use at home for various reasons. The first is called ujjayi. U meaning victory or kind of moving up. It's also known as ocean breath or victorious breath. And when we do it properly, it sounds like the ocean waves or the wind in the trees. So it's done by closing the glottis very, very slightly at the back of the throat and drawing the breath into the back of the throat as the first points of conscious contact. We relax the nostrils and we inhale. And exhale in a One way to experience this is to hold your hand in front of your mouth as if you're fogging a mirror, to go and suck in. And you'll feel that in the back of the throat, and that's what you're trying to achieve in pranayama, in this Ujjayi pranayama, excuse me, with the mouth closed. So try it at home a little bit, and if with any of these things you start to get frustrated, you start to get nervous, just stop. It takes a while to understand how to do this, and what we're trying to do is calm the nervous system to initiate what Dr. Herbert Benson calls the relaxation response. So let's just try this for about half a minute together. Inhaling deeply and exhaling. Relaxing the shoulders. And exhaling. And one more, inhaling. And exhaling. And you may notice that already you're starting to feel calm, or you're starting to calm down. That slight constriction at the back of the throat actually creates some resistance. So your muscles, the muscles that breathe, are actually working a little bit harder to create the depth in the breath. And very often when we create that resistance, we increase the potential for oxygenation. So now come to the edge of your chair. You can, I was sitting cross-legged because that's the most comfortable way for me to sit, even in a chair, not necessarily on the floor. But I'm going to move forward, and I'm going to suggest that you move forward as well, so that you're sitting at the edge of your chair in a way that allows your pelvis to tilt forward just a little bit to maintain the natural curvature in your spine. The next breath that we'll be working with is a breath called, and I keep forgetting the names. It's called a bellows breath or a Bhastrika. And if you have done classical pranayama before, this may seem a little bit different, because it is. It comes from Dr. Vasant Lad, who is an Ayurvedic practitioner and founded the Ayurvedic Institute in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Your left thumb, or both actually thumbs and index fingers, join. And when we join these fingers together, we're stimulating some of the meridians that move up into the lungs, and so we're encouraging our lungs to open up a little bit more. Place your hands on your knees with the palms up, and bring your elbows out to the sides a little bit so that you can open up the underarms and open up the axilla. We're going to do 2 sets of 5 breaths each. So you'll inhale, you're lifting the shoulders, creating a deep, deep breath, and exhaling, dropping the shoulders down. And inhaling and exhaling. So inhale. Exhale completely. And then hold the breath in, drop on your pelvic floor, in on your lower abdomen, lift your heart and tuck your chin, close your eyes, and feel the effects of the suspension of the exhale. Inhale and release, and how did that feel? Just pay attention to how you're feeling. I may have gone a little fast. I'll try to do a little bit more slowly this time. By the way, there are some contraindications for this breath. So if you have high blood pressure, glaucoma, hernia or ascites, or if you're prone to anger or resentment, do these things in moderation. Okay, so let's begin again. Inhaling, exhaling. Now inhale and exhale completely. Hold the breath out. Pull up on your pelvic floor, in on your lower abdomen. Lift your heart, tuck your chin, hold the breath out. And inhale. These muscular contractions at the pelvic floor and lower abdomen are called bandhas. It's B-H-A-N-D-A. It means lock or holding. And so muscularly and energetically, we hold the energy in the body to prevent the leaking of the energy out through the pelvic floor. There's always a little bit of downward motion or downward energy moving out through the pelvic floor. And so we're holding that, and we're pulling the energy up when we hold those bandhas. And then when we lift the heart and tuck the chin slightly, we're also containing the energy in the chest cavity. The next one is, and you can do that at home if you'd like to, for up to 10 to 20 breaths in a set. The next one is called Kapalabhati, or skull shining. Again, we're going to do, this time we're going to do 2 sets of 20. And contraindications here are detached retina, glaucoma, migraine headache, high or low blood pressure, heart problems, nosebleeds, hernias, ulcers, recent history of epilepsy, or recent abdominal surgery. It's not advised if you're pregnancy or menstruating. And if you're having any of those conditions, just watch, because there are other things that you'll be able to do down the line. So here, we're still holding Gyan Mudra, index finger and thumb tips together, palms up, but the elbows don't have to come out to the side because we're not filling the whole lobes of the lungs. We're filling the upper chest. And here, we're focusing on the exhale. So we're snapping the navel and the diaphragm in on the exhale, focusing on that, and then letting the inhale take care of itself. When we exhale, we create a vacuum in the lungs. And so when we release the diaphragm, or expand the diaphragm, bring the diaphragm down, we create a vacuum and the air comes in naturally. So it'll look a little bit like this. I always snort and sputter at first, getting it right. So we weren't focusing on the nasal passages and focusing in. So you ready to try it at home? And we'll do 20 and I'll count. And then we'll do that same inhalation and exhaling completely and suspending the breath and pulling up on the root lock. So let's begin. Now inhale, exhale completely. Hold the breath out, pull up on the pelvic floor, in on the lower abdomen, lift the heart, tuck the chin, hold the breath out, hold the breath out. Notice what's happening inside your body. I find this very, very delicious. Inhale and relax. And if at any time you get a little dizzy, because we're creating a lot more oxygenation in the body, if you get dizzy, make the peace symbol with your fingers and point those toward the floor. That takes the energy down out of your head. The other thing that focusing on your exhalation does is it helps clear out some of the residual volume of carbon dioxide that's always in the lungs, thus increasing the potential for greater oxygenation in the blood. We're going to do that one more time. 20 breaths, so here we go. You ready? And let's begin. Inhale completely, exhale completely. Pull up on the pelvic floor, in on the lower abdomen, lift the heart, tuck the chin. Inhale and relax. Good. The next breathing practice is absolutely magnificent. I love all of these, but the alternate nostril breathing is really beautiful. It balances the sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous systems. When we breathe through the right nostril, we stimulate the sympathetic nervous system, and when we breathe through the left nostril, we stimulate the parasympathetic nervous system. In yoga parlance, it's called stimulating the Ida and the Pingala nadis, and they correspond to receptivity on the left and activity on the right. So basically, we're balancing out the nervous system and creating balanced energy, neither too relaxed, couch potato, nor too energetic and frenetic. And any contraindications here: chest pain, extremely high blood pressure, or recent history of epilepsy. So those are the only contraindications. Your left thumb and index fingers come together in Gyan Mudra. The right thumb closes the right nostril, and the right ring or pinky finger closes the left nostril. So alternately opening and closing. We'll begin with the left, and again, we're only going to do 5 for the purposes of demonstration so that you can get a feel for this, and because of time constraints here on the program. So close the right nostril just very gently with the right thumb, and then you'll inhale through the left nostril, close the left nostril, exhale through the right. Inhale through the right, close the right, and exhale through the left. That's considered 1 cycle of breath. We'll do 5 together. Are you ready? And let's begin. Inhale through the left, close the left, exhale right. Inhale right, close right, exhale left. And let's do it together without my speaking. Now just don't breathe. Don't pull up on the root lock. Don't pull up on your abdomen. Don't lift your chest. Just sit still and notice the feelings in your body, the sensations. And open your eyes, inhale and relax. And you'll notice that I'm moving up and down, kind of tilting my pelvis, lifting my shoulders on the inhale and coming down. This assists the movement of the prana, or the movement of the breath in the lungs. Ready? One more time, and let's go. Right hand on the right thumb on the right nostril. Inhale left. And sit still until you feel the need to breathe. Lovely. I always feel really wonderful after that, when I can feel a little tingling in my extremities and in my arms. The next breathing practice is called Brahmari, or be the humming breath, and it requires some pretty fancy finger work. So, and I'm going to ask that you just watch for a little bit, and then I'll lead you through it. There's a triangular flap at the beginning of your ears, and you're going to press that together with your thumb so that you can close off any sound from the outer world, so that you can focus only on the humming in your own head, in your own skull. These 3 fingers, the middle finger comes to right where the eyes come together. The next finger comes here, kind of at the edge of the nose where it joins the cheeks, and the next fingers come down toward the upper lip. Your index fingers come up to the third eye center, so it looks like this, with the thumbs closing the flaps. Elbows remain high, shoulder blades together. You're going to inhale deeply and exhale into a humming sound. Make sure that you don't bring your teeth together, they'll rattle, and the tip of your tongue goes up to the roof of your mouth. Relax the mouth and it'll sound like this. It's kind of weird, but it's really fun to do, and it feels wonderful in your skull, clears the nasal passages. You can do it higher pitched or lower pitched, varying the vibration. Sometimes I feel it in my heart as well as in my head. So, are you ready? Let's begin, and we're only going to do 3 of these. So, thumbs come to the rectangular flaps to close the ears. Middle fingers come to the place where the eyes come together, the point of the eye. Ring fingers, just the side of the nose. Pinky fingers down above the mouth. Index fingers at the third eye. Take a nice deep inhale and exhale into a humming sound. Be careful not to rattle your teeth. Inhale. Isn't that wonderful? Let your hands rest on your lap. That breath is for your heart, actually. The only contraindications there are chest pain, extremely high blood pressure. I may have said that. They're pretty much the same as they are for alternate nostril breathing. We have one more breath to do, possibly 2. We'll see how much time we have. The next one is called Shitali. It's a cooling breath. One more. So you'll close your eyes, flute your tongue if you can, and if you can't, just bring your tongue to the tips of the teeth and inhale around the tongue or inhale over the tongue. And we'll do this for 5 times. Close your eyes. It looks like this. No, open your eyes, watch, and then do it. So like this. Inhaling over the tongue and exhaling through the nose, and inhaling through the rounded tongue and exhaling through the nose, or inhaling over the sides of the tongue and exhaling through the nose. If you haven't already done that, go ahead and do one of those 2 5 times. And 5, the benefits of that breath is with the rounded tongues, the air, cooling air, goes over the tongue surface and stimulates your internal organs. There are places, meridian points on your tongue for each of the internal organs. So this is a way to cool your liver and your spleen and your kidneys. Very beneficial. And if you can't flute your tongue, if you stick the tongue out and you inhale along the sides of the tongue, you're cooling your lungs. I think that that's about all we have time for. I hope you don't have to do all of these in succession. You can pick one that feels really, really good, and I guarantee you that it'll make a huge difference in your day. You can do these several times a day, and if you're interested in the handouts that I have, the directions for them, you can contact me at nancy@karmayoga.net. Let me know that you've seen the program and you would like the transcripts and the script for the breathing practices, and I'll be happy to send them to you. And I want to thank you today for joining me on Living Karma Yoga. And if you want information on our classes, please visit our website, www.karma-yoga.net, and we look very much forward to seeing you in class. And namaste.
May the long time sun shine